Hello everyone, no time for fancy things because this game has started ever so slightly early, so I haven't even looked at the teams. It is Sabertooth Badge versus the Stirland Hornets. Sabertooth Badge, as you can see, setting up defensively right now with their fancy tree boy. They've got some very nice pieces. The Agi up catcher, who is very nearly legend level. His counterpart in the movement 10 catcher, who I think may be niggled. Yes, he is. He's on borrow time. A rather lovely war dancer. War dancer's somewhat undeveloped. I assume they died. As for the Stirland Hornets, they do have a spicy blitzer here who is Agi-bust, unfortunately, and then a pretty great Saka catcher. Strength up catcher as well, fantastic. Movement up catcher. So both teams have players perfectly capable of scoring one turns. If you are joining me, which I hope you are, this should be a good game. I think Aldar was supposed to be co-casting this with me, but has yet to show up, so we will see what happens there. I am, of course, sat in a game stream room, so if he does decide to show up, we can take care of it from there. Let's rock some music, so you don't just have to listen to me waffle a lot. I do like a good elf off, though. They are fun. They are fun frolics to have. So let's jump to here, and you'll hear me clack away on my keyboard for a second while I just pop up what is occurring. That's what we want. We also want this. There we go. There we are. Right. Okay, so yeah, I will hang around. It's quite possible that Aldar has finally succumbed to the need for sleep. I'm not even entirely sure he's human. He is a big Viking boy, so maybe he has actually time travelled here and as a ghost, and therefore does not require sleep. Wouldn't entirely surprise me. Or he may just have forgotten. Could be one or the other. If anyone out there in Blood Bowl land does want to join me for some co-commentating, though, by all means. Setting up quite aggressively, I expected that. I don't think either team are going to be too focused on stalling here. This may turn out to be like a very high-scoring game, given the calibre of players that we're seeing on the pitch here. Carmack, of course, this is his third iteration of Sabertooth Badge. And we're seeing a lot of Pro Elf teams in the Challengers Cup, or maybe I'm just calling them all. This one, slightly more less eye-watering kit than our previous ones, but they'll be hoping to repeat the success, I would have thought. It's a very nice tree. Very, very nice tree. I mean, that is a truly ridiculous tree. Strength 7 with block. Giving it multiple block, which is probably the only time you're really going to take it. You're going to put it on a tree. Stand firm, strong arm as well, just for the lols, I guess. Yeah, it's a spicy boy. He is a spicy boy. If he moves, if he's anything like my tree, he just won't do anything ever. I've just realised I didn't even sort out my extension, so it's going to you're going to think that Ricky's here, and Ricky isn't here because he has departed for one evening. Also, the teams need to be reset because you can't look at those teams because they're not playing. Is everything on my Twitch working? Let us find out just before the game starts. Everything on my Twitch working? Let us find out just before the game starts. Yep, apparently it is. Fantastic. If anyone does notice any problems, let me know. Here we go. I have a refreshing beverage. I hope if you're watching this that you do too. Extra reroll for the Hornets. I'm sure they won't object too much to that. What did we get? We got a bribe on the Wood Elves. The Hornets getting the fame. Kickoff events could, of course, play a big factor in this, as they did last night. Less of that though, please. I prefer to see two coaches of skill go at it rather than just random ass crap happening and ruining the fun for everyone. But Nuffle is a cruel master at the best of times, so there's no guarantee there. Alright, let's see what happens. Keeping away from the tree, because there ain't no way you're bringing that down. No dauntless on the team. I would assume that the thrower is going to pick it up. Amador Ellenrina with his fancy hair. I wonder why they made that choice. I suppose it's a visual distinction thing. Makes them easy to spot. So you don't get too confused if you have two similarly coloured teams, giving them the big tall hair of doom. But it is a strange choice. I wasn't aware that that was a fashion in the old world. Alright. Where's the blitz coming? We are just going to take the 2 die here. Just results in a push, so perhaps blitz on Eldor, the guard block lineman. How I would love to have a guard block lineman on my Wood Elf team, but rolling doubles is something that other people do and not something that I do, apparently. Not sure why, it just is the case. This is going to be decisive, says Jim, as literally nothing happens. Always a joy. Alright, here comes the blitz. That's a very spicy blitzer, goes poofing it in, and that is an immediate stun. Removes the guard from the equation for a turn. Very, very nice. We are clearly setting up to head up the left-hand side here. The question becomes whether the tree will cooperate and decide to move. I quite like running the move-up catcher up here because you can then use him next turn as a potential scoring threat. Not wrong with that. Okay. Things that are happening. Not a lot right this very second. And here we go. We are going to push up the side. Potentially going for a quick score here. We are going to double line here. Makes the sense. So I am assuming it is going to be the thrower picking it up, and that this very spicy leap, strip ball, tackle, rackle in fact, catcher is going to run up this way somewhere as well. War dancers of course can do the leapings, which is a risk when you have dice like mine, but something that they are capable of. So there may be some boinging going on this game. We are just going to tuck it in. I guess just in case this fails, which it doesn't. Will we see the Wood Elf Bribe come into play this drive? I mean, if you're fouling, you're probably fouling with Wrestle Boy here or with Elven Rife, who is a also a Wrestle Boy. I mean, it's a Wood Elf team with 11 players, which is just alien to me. Just alien. How often do you see that? Tree takes root because that is the fate of the tree. First turn, he will take root. That is just what they do. So he is now a big useless lump in the middle of the pitch, not touching anyone. So short of pushing people into him not much is going to happen. We are going to take the hit on the strength up boy, though. Makes sense. Testing the armour of the Pro Elves. Sidesteps in. No armour break. I would expect the War Dancer to run away now. I don't really think you want to leave him there. Yep, that makes sense. We are going to tag up the strength up boy, though. And now go for the foul. As you'd expect from that bribe. And the foul results in a stun. Referee says, wasn't brutal enough, I'm not going to send you off for it. Fails a dodge with the War Dancer, that's pretty bad. Doesn't re-roll it. Probably sensible. Wood Elf's position, not the greatest here. There's a few really quite tasty hits on. But they're doing alright. They are doing alright. We'll see how Clown Thilu decides to play this. I don't think he'll stall because of the possibility of a one turn. He may score early and then try and steal the ball for a second touchdown in the first half. That said, he may want to stall out turn 8 to force CARMAC to attempt a one turn that could very well fail. He does have a fair amount of tackle, but not really enough to cover all the bases there. That's just a push on Soulless Bernhard, the thrower. You big, useless lump, you. Big, useless lump, Harry Dan. The irony of Tree Man being called Harry Dan when they don't actually have any hair is not lost on me. Is that ironic? I don't think it is ironic. It's just a comedy name. Like rain on your wedding day, which isn't ironic. Do 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 do. Considering his options here, might decide to fire himself. He does have that one lineman, but neither team has a bench, so it's all very risky business. Of course, CARMAC can take the fouls given that he has the bribe sitting in his back pocket. But bribes are known to fail. It just does make them rather safer. As we have already seen, rolling ones, quite easy to do. Quite easy to do. Sabertooth Venge already rolling a 1 for a dodge and a 1 for the take route. Still waiting on the first removal. I think Planthilly needs to do something about preventing his Uber Blitzer from getting fouled again, because otherwise I would expect CARMAC will just straight up foul that player again immediately. Take the blitz maybe and then go for the foul. One turner is slightly fragile in that he doesn't have any offensive skills, and with that niggle does make him a bit of a risk, but he's a hell of a player regardless. That niggle must have been a painful one to have to suck up, but such is the life of the Wood Elf coach. If you have a team of Wood Elves that don't have any permanent injuries on them, there's a move bust on the thrower here as well, then you're probably doing things wrong. We're just going to move into a sort of column formation here. That's interesting. I guess we're running back, so we are going to do some form of Daka style play here, I guess. Inviting the Wood Elves to come forward, and then trying to pincer them in between your team, I guess. Has blitzed, but there is a nice foul here on untrustworthy Dustin that I would be very tempted to take personally, given that it is a 3 assist on a very, very nice sacky War Dancer. And you do have 2 linemen without any skills. Could be setting up for it now. Yeah, here we go. Here comes the foul. Let's see if this one's more successful. It is not. But referee, again, polishing his glasses, wasn't paying attention. Goblins in glasses. They're more like goggles. They don't help their eyesight, they just keep the blood of the players from splashing into them. Okay, just a push. No sidestep on this one though, so this is going to make a foul even more likely. What else kind of forced into a line right down the middle of the pitch, near enough. We are going to take a very spicy foul now. And this time it's another stun, and the bribe is burned. A little unfortunate there, that was a very good foul. 3 assist foul. Broke the armour. Didn't quite get the injury roll though. We're going to run round to threaten the ball, which is the sensible course of action. The one-turner tucks himself in behind the tree to make him a little less conspicuous. But yeah, the Wood Elves forced into a very small area of the pitch. Nope. Not happening. And just leaves that one. Wood Elf armor's standing up surprisingly well, though. They ain't dying just yet. Okay. So Clan Zulu can, I guess, deal with Elven Rife. But does he really want to? That is the question. That said, running forward, Elven Rife can get there with a GFI or 2. So probably will need to be dealt with in some capacity. Yeah, just going to kind of twiddle about a little bit. Are we going to go for another foul here? There is a very easy blitz to get rid of, and then we can foul the War Dancer again. Fouls so far. 2 out of 3 have succeeded, and have and in 3 fouls we've seen 2 stuns, which is not great, but not terrible either. I have had games, of course, where every foul I've attempted has been a send-off. I'm sure you have too. Argument to be made that CARMAC may, at this point, think forcing an early score is a better option than trying to steal the ball, but he does have the wrestle player down here to threaten Amador Elenrina. And there is a possibility that things could go horribly, horribly wrong for the Pro Elves at the top of the pitch here. No, we are going to see the first removal. That is a KO to Solus Bernhardt. He has been removed from the pitch. Good start in terms of removals. And that does leave the War Dancer open to getting stomped on again, which I would be very surprised not to see happen. We have a rather tasty side cage here. The issue with it is that in order to keep this side cage going, you're going to have to bring it back down a bit. Looks like we may be passing the ball. We are. Easy as pie. as you'd expect from a catcher. Thrower to catcher pass. So I think that catcher may be running around the side here. We may see these players to join him and make life a bit more difficult for the Wood Elves. Tree-taking route really didn't help CARMAC in this arc. But then when does a tree-taking route actually help anyone? Yeah, looks like we're going to essentially cage up here. Now we're actually going to go all the way over the top. Needs to prevent a leap here, but given the position of the War Dancer, it doesn't look particularly likely, and there is a nice bit of guard in here, which is always good. And the War Dancer in question doesn't have strip ball. The one with strip ball is down on the floor, looking at the lights, or the floaty magical glow orbs, whatever they use in Blood Bowl stadiums. I am just filling the dead air that would normally be occupied by a co-caster with complete nonsense. And another stun. That was just not really doing the business so far. That's 3 out of 4 that have succeeded without send-offs. Powered through that armour, but just can't seem to roll above a 6 or a 7 for the injuries. And a 6 or a 7 will not do the trick. I better move me land speeder so it doesn't get destroyed by my ungainly hands. That is the technical term for them. You're hearing a little creaking noise in the background. It is not me trumping, it is my chair. Nope, no armor break. Woodie's really struggling to crack that armor. It's basically what we saw from the other game previously. Right, we are running away a little bit here, so perhaps we are just going to see a... I'm not going to commit my players to a losing proposition here. I'm going to run in round the back. Guard gets up. Just arrest progress somewhat. Perhaps we'll see a foul with the wrestle lineman on Cananion Galathor. But he may have decided... Yep, we are going to see the foul. Here it comes. No, we're not. We're just going to bracket him as much as possible. I thought for sure that was setting up for a foul then. Fairly standard Wood Elf turn. Blitz. And that's it. Alright. I mean, that's trivially easy to get out for Canonian Galathor. Can just force his way past Olsenwine? Olsenwine. Within scoring range, of course. CARMAC probably wants Clownthulu to score right now, though. It is quite late here, so if you do hear me yawning, I apologise. Just that bribe, that's all there was. No babes. So we are down to Blood Bowl in its purest form, if such a thing could be said. No fancy shenanigans left on each team. Just grit, determination, and fervent prayers to Nuffle. Yeah, I think the intention with basing up so many players here is to either force Clanthully to kind of stall out of it. He is just going to take the score. No, he's not. He's actually going to stall out right at the line. That makes sense. I thought he was going right the way through. I was going to say I'm surprised. I would have thought he was going to stall. But yeah, I think he'll stall. He may take some dodges here to facilitate that stall. He's got a couple of nice hits on the board here. I would like to see him bring some players up to protect Thantoldas last Raylan though. Because otherwise we may see Elfie nonsense. It's a very nice piece, isn't it? The freaky deaky blitzer here. Diving tackle. Mighty blow. Bend. Sidestep. And tackle. Alas, he is niggled and agi-busted. So, is a frail whale, I guess. Well, no, a frail whale is ineffective in the attack. He's a fragile boy. He's got bones of glass. And a jaw of glass. And other body parts of glass. Okay, so we just get a push. Not ideal. We are going to set up for another hit on him. Maybe overcommitting a little bit here. There is certainly a world where the Wood Elves can block some nonsense dice and get through for a hit on ball. Oh, and that's a knockout on the one-turner. Niggle doing its thing there. Dodges out. Tackle? What did tackle? I just rolled sixes. Gets the 2-die hit on the block guarder. It is an armor break. It is a KO. That's another removal. It's 3 KOs now for nothing in return. So it's looking like Clanthully's going to be able to stall this one out at this point. Given that Plucky Dagny is apparently the only Wood Elf player within reach. The kick catcher. Which is certainly an interesting choice. But it would be a red die against block with no block, which is definitely not ideal. Alright. So, no real way through here. No glaringly obvious targets for a blitz here either. Manly Shelley can get through for a red dice as well, but would need to have probably Illidar Tinnaran removed first, which could be facilitated, I suppose, but seems rather unlikely. You could take the wrestle hit here. You could even negate the assist from over here, but it's going to be a 1-die, and that's pretty hairy. And then, yeah, we're just going to dodge away. Go around the side. It looks like we might be hitting the strength up boy again. Yeah. It is just a push. We are going to greed reroll it into a POW, which you'll love to see. No armor break though, yet again. So is there really anything left on the table here? I mean, you can bring untrustworthy Dustin round to cause some form of threat. But anything that he places to threaten the ball here, given the disparity in player numbers, is likely to get hit next turn. We are going to elf our way around, so we are going to see a wrestle hit come in, and then perhaps a dodge off. No, we are just going to go for the hit here. That is very nice. That was a block against no block that succeeded. And we are going to do capture things and run around as well, providing some form of threat at least. However, I would be very surprised if untrustworthy Dustin isn't smacked right in the face this turn, probably by Pythoventress. The only caveat there being that Pythoventress is in fact blocking the way for an assist from Mortalith Malamir. Is Dustin in range? Yes, he is. He would have to cut a corner to get there, but assuming he was still standing in that spot in the next turn, he would be able to get there for the strip ball attempt. No sure hands, so strip ball, good skill. I'm not sure there is any strip hands, in fact, sure hands in fact, on the Pro Elf team. Doesn't like it. No sure hands on either. However, that's not really effective for the Wood Elves because there isn't any strip ball on the Pro Elf team. Diving tackle though, underrated skill. Okay, we are just going to consolidate around the ball to try and prevent sack attempt. However, leaping red die strip ball attempts are actually pretty OP, especially if you got a reroll in your pocket. Yeah, here we go. We're just going to form a screen, try and prevent those Wood Elves from getting through. I would have been tempted to go and hit the dancer regardless, because that is the player that's going to be doing anything shenanigansy under these circumstances, and assuming this setup, it's quite easy to manufacture a 1-die on the ball here. He would need to double line this really to prevent the leap. We are going to move in guard, so yeah, it does look like we are going to blitz into untrustworthy Dustin. Problem here being is if the dodges fail, then untrustworthy Dustin doesn't have the hardest time of getting around there. Just needs to get a bit lucky with a attempt to remove Mortalith Malamir from the path. There we go, we're going to screen it off from there. Dustin can go in from the bottom though. Or can he? Can he get there? Yeah, he can get there because it's enough. So he would have to take GFIs if he were to leap. But we are now screening it up properly. And here comes the blitz. The blitz is good, so that's the threat ended. For this turn at least. And for the next as well, because that is a stun. Alright, so what are we going to see these down players do? I'm assuming they're just going to stand up. We may see a dodge after this. Nope, we are going to have to use a dodge reroll. That does make leaping even less likely. But there is still a pretty nice tackle hit here on Ilidar Tinneran. Dodges off with a 6. And dodges off comfortably. So yeah, I reckon Ilidar Tinneran is probably getting donked. Because oh no, we are just going to hit the lineman. That makes sense, I guess. I would have probably gone for the spicy blitzer, but just going to rock him back. CARMAC's block dice have not been very good so far. Lots and lots of pushes, especially on blitzes. And really blitzes is all he has, so just not effective. I'm probably going to disengage to a certain extent here. Yeah. Protect the dancer. Alright. Clanthulu very much in control here. Probably settled in now. Not feeling the pressure quite so much. Can pick his spot. That said, CARMAC hasn't really offered him any particularly easy targets. You do have Plucky Dagny. Gentleman Mathieu is a target, but would involve taking a dodge. In fact, a few dodges to get an assist on. It would be 2-3 tackle zones, which is probably not going to happen, because that is just asking for it a little bit. These, of course, come with strong arm. I forgot that. That's me saying what an odd choice. It's not an odd choice. They come with it as standard. Those are their standard skills. I think. Do they? No, actually, maybe they don't. I can't remember. I only play Wood Elves. I'm second guessing myself. Just checking my stream is all functioning fine. It is excellent. While we wait for Clanthulu to decide on his course of action, it looks like he is going to tag up the catcher, perhaps for a hit. Blitzing perhaps with the catcher. Walks the blitzer just slightly too far away. No, maybe not. Maybe we're going to blitz from the top. Thrower, of course, picking up a level. So likely to pick up dodge from that one, maybe. We are going to prevent anyone from running around the top with any degree of certainty here. Or just cost them so much movement that they can't really do much about it. There we go. And there's the 2-die hit. The 2-die hit is good. Felon the lineman. Mighty blow. Not paying for itself there. It's just a 6 on the armor roll. All right. Consider just tinkering a little bit. Doesn't really need to do much here. So the good news is that untrustworthy Dustin can now get up. The bad news is that he is on tackle at the moment. Not ideal. Probably does need to stand him up and potentially try and dodge him away though, given that Clownthilly could very well decide to foul him next turn. It would be rather trivial with the players in this position to... We are going to run around the top. Brave and spicy boy that he is. Here comes the wrestle player. Here comes Le Danseur. He does get a POW. That is Talagdora Shalandalam, who, again, armor doesn't break. Just the dice is rather unkind in that regard. To Carmack so far. I'm not really sure there's a great deal that Carmack can do here apart from kind of nibble around at the edges. He is placing those players somewhat aggressively. We are going to try for a GFI. That's some interesting positioning, but does get him out of the way, I guess. Oh, we are going to skull towards the centre of the pitch. The perils of the one die. Now, does Clownthilly attempt to serve Gentleman Mature? It is doable. It would involve a dodge. But he does have a beefy strength up player, so it would be one die, so long as he puts on here. Hello Razzlestorm, and hello Neutral, thank you for the raid, much appreciated. I didn't even see that. For some reason my my sound alerts have disappeared off the face of the earth since I last updated OBS. This is REBBL play. It's not playoffs, it's Challengers Cup. We have Clownthilly's Stirland Hornets versus mbCARMAC's Sabertooth Vag 3.0. At the moment, it's not going very well for the Sabertooths. We're going to ignore the second word of their name, given that they are just simply not getting any luck, and Clownthilly's Pro Elves are doing some pretty spicy things to them when they do get the hits in. 3 knockouts to the Wood Elves, 0 Pro Elves off the field as yet. Still relatively early days though, and both teams have some rather tasty players, so everything to play for here. And of course, this is overtime format. You're curious about the previous Sabertooth teams. They call it Vagina Dentata, I believe. Appreciate the follow as well, Matthew. Very, very appreciated. As always. I am just basically talking nonsense. Hello to Neutral and hello to Vogelvisa as well. But yes, it's been an interesting one so far. I've cast a couple of games in the postseason for REBBL this time round, and they've kind of uniformly been very one-sided in terms of luck. So we had a game where the Pro Elves team killed 3 High Elves despite having no Mighty Blow, and it would have been 4 if the Apo hadn't saved one of them. And then we had an absolutely hideous game for Kopkos's Handsome Runners last night, where the RNG just utterly screwed them, basically. It was just one thing after another, culminating in a pitch invasion on their drive, which resulted in 5 of their players going down stunned and none of their opponents, who again were High Elves. Elves everywhere. Yeah, looks like we are going to go for a surf. You're being a bit hooty about it, I think. We do love to see a good surf play. We do love to splash in the wave. And by the waves, we mean the boots of the crowd. Okay, here we go. And it's a push, that's good enough. I mean, he could re-roll this if he wants to get a power out of it. It is a 3-die. Oh, it's just going to opt for the push. Oh, brutal. Gentleman Mathieu is injured. It's a badly hurt. Okay, that double stuffed it there a bit, so I assume that he got double injured. Just badly hurt. Well, he wouldn't get double injured because he only got pushed off, he didn't get hit. One dancer down though, that's not great. We have the one turner out. With any luck, he'll come back for turn 8, but no guarantee on that one. Thrower is out, and we have Eldor, the guard block lineman. How jealous I am of that guard block lineman. You will never know. Well, you will, because I've just told you I'm jealous of him. I don't know, it's late here. My brain is a little hamster in a wheel, just going round and round in my skull. It's going, blood bowl, nibble, 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 nibbling. I don't even know where that was going either. This is all going a bit strange. Maybe I'm actually going insane. Or insaner. Yeah, I'm not really sure what Carmack was doing here with putting his players up here so much. We are going for the dodge here though. That's pretty good. Looks like we're going to leap in. Oh, the leap is good, so... Oh, it's into a skull. Got to re-roll that, surely. Oh, savage. Savage. You ever see one of those games where you just think one of these coaches is just... He's done something to offend Nuffle. It's starting to look that way. It's definitely starting to look that way. All Clown Philly has to do here is get rid of Album Rife. Suppose there is a dodge involved, but not really. You can bring up Ileus, Tafdir, and then take a hit here, and then you can surf the sidestepping catcher. He's not even a sidestepper, so you can just surf the catcher. I thought he was the sidestepper. The sidestepper is actually Manly Shelley, the catcher. So you can't really surf him, but you can surf over here. There's another removal. No injury this time though, so that's nice. Is he going to run someone around and try and surf the sidestepper, or is he just going to do the sensible thing and score? We don't like the sensible thing in Blood Bowl, really, so don't do the sensible thing. Surf the whole team. Do it. Do it. Do it. I would say that while it is tactically unpleasant for Carmack with these players out, this is a Wood Elf team, and as we all well know, Wood Elves only really need 2 elves on the pitch and they can still dominate a game. I have won games 3-0 with like 6% possession before with Wood Elves, so it is not uncommon to see them be considerably players down and still pull off ridiculous nonsense. Okay. Well, that didn't work. Possession is a bash team stat, yes. That is absolutely correct. That one did work. Let's see if this breaks armor. It does, but it's just a stun. So, Carmack gonna get a little lucky there. There was a bribe in play, however, the bribe popped off on, I think, the second foul attempted, causing a stun and squandering said bribe. You can, in fact, jam enough players in here to surf the catcher, which I assume he's going to do. It's a pretty key piece to get rid of Manly Shelley. The Agi 5 Lodge Stepper with Leap, who is 11 away from legend status. I think I prefer my catcher though. Only slightly. Okay, that was... Well, he wrestled him. I think he realised then that he'd screwed that one up. I think he just put another player in there, otherwise he'd just sidestep out. Okay, so it's 1-0. Let's see if the Wood Elves get their one-turner back. The one-turner is niggled, which is a problem, but he is a movement 10 catcher with sure feet. He does come back? Was that hit? It was not. It was not. Alas. Let us flip around so that we can see what is occurring. Could potentially score a one turn with Manly Shelley, however, doesn't have sure feet and would require a couple of pushes to get there. We can attribute the turn going downhill really to Harry down immediately into the spot, I guess. Yeah, so let's see how they set up. I'd assume he's going to set up as a one-turn defense here. I mean, he could just keep it as chevrons, I guess, but then it's fairly trivially easy, given the pedigree of this Tree of Doom, to get rid of whoever's in front of him and then just run straight through the middle with it. However, that said, we do have to factor in the requirement for those pushes if we are going to see an attempt at a one-turn. I would be tempted to... it is sidesteps. The sidestep does help. I'd be tempted to, if possible, score the one-turn with Plucky Dagny, though. Just because he's a less valuable piece and is one away from the level. That just makes it immeasurably harder because of the lack of sidestep. Leap, good skill, though. Could be a riot. Two-turn is very much possible, if there is one. I do apologise for the lack of Aldar. He was supposed to be joining me, but Aldar being Aldar, he seemingly never sleeps, and therefore has probably fallen asleep. Finally, after about 3 days of continuously commentating on games, and when not commentating on games, and sometimes while commentating on games, pinging people to say, someone needs to cover this game, someone needs to cover that game, someone needs to cover 7 games. Hardest working man in REBBL in the postseason. Alright. I do hope you're all having a lovely time out there anyway, watching this game. There is apparently 26 of you, which is pretty impressive. So if anyone does like my babbling on about nonsense because I'm tired and I've been drinking, Oh no, covering games is certainly not easy. Especially when you have 64 teams in the first round and they've all decided to play on a Saturday and a Sunday. 8 or 9? That sounds about right for you, Neutral. That sounds about right for you. You are the hardest working woman in Chalice, I believe. But, yeah. Aldar, funnily enough, doesn't have a computer powerful enough to stream with, and therefore is just a co-pilot all the time. Which is kind of strange, I guess. But yeah, we are going to set up in a sort of column-y setup here. I mean, I can conceive of a world in which you score a 1 turn here. It's going to involve a lot of pushes, though. There goes the Tree Boy. Tree Boy extra strong, Mints. He's been a bad lad so far. He's done absolutely nothing. Alright, so yeah, we may well be going for a leap attempt for a 1 turn here. Because you do have a trivially easy path through now. Given that Ileus Tathdir is a unleveled lineman and is covering that left flank. I'm not really sure I like this setup from Clan Thilu. That said, there is going to be some dice to roll to get this 1 turn. If that is what we're going to see. Is there a kicker over on the... There is not a kicker on the Pro Elf side. It's certainly interesting. All the eggs going into one basket here for CARMAC, I think. Let's see how we go. I'm not actually good enough at 1 turns to be able to tell whether that's what he set up for. It's a quick snap. It's a good deep kick though. But that is a 3-pointer movement forward, so that makes a 1 turn more plausible, I think. I would be moving the dancer to here. Be moving Manly Shelley around to here. So that you can then orchestrate moving Elven Marai to here. Yep, looks like we're going for it. Looks like it's on. Oh no, we're going to go through the middle. Perhaps feeling a push is easier from that direction, which is certainly true. Issue here being that is a sidestepper, and there is no Juggernaut. So, not quite sure what's happening here. There is perhaps a method to this. Could, I suppose, move the War Dancer up, move the Catcher into here, run around and hit into him from the side with a single dodge, or using Stirland. Well, we are going to take root. But he is going to get a hit in. That was an attempt at a blitz. That's deeply unfortunate, so we are just going to abandon it. Thank you for the follow, Andy Davo. Much appreciated. Nice to see you, mate. I did drop you a follow a little while ago, I think. So I suppose you're just returning in kind. I do believe you played my brother in a real-life tabletop tournament recently, in fact. So, yeah. I do believe you beat him as well. Benny Boo. Ben. Probably said a lot of nonsense. I think he was playing Skaven. It was a Skaven team I bought him for his birthday about 2 years ago, I think. They were probably called the Bad Ratters or something like that. I think that tends to be his default Skaven team name. Or they had some atrocious name that involved porn stars or sexual innuendo. Alright, so Vanity Pass, we are into the second half. Let's see if they get back up. They do not. Not going so well for CARMAC with those KO rolls. They are going to set up Shallow Rod and Chevrons. That's Rule of 5 is kind of asking for trouble a little bit because of the overspill potential. That said, the numbers deficit here could be telling. Tree has been utterly useless so far. It's rooted to the spot both times. But yes, so real-life Blood Bowl interactions is always a strange one. I hope you enjoyed the tournament anyway. I know my brother did, even though he didn't have a particularly good record in terms of win-loss, etc., compared to how he did in the Dad Bowl a couple of years previous. Yeah, it was the UK BBL one. He said he played you anyway. Maybe he was lying. Could have been lying, I doubt it. Yeah, that was probably him then. Yep. Yeah, he did say you crunched him. Which makes me inclined to believe him, because if he was going to lie, he'd be like, oh, I defeated him. I defeated him really easily. It was really easy. All right. So we are just going to set up in a line here. I guess we're just going to try and score quickly, maybe. Oh dear. Yep. Should have expected that. Oh, that's a really, really nasty place for that blitz as well. That's the perils with setting everyone up on the line. Sometimes it backfires tremendously. Obviously the kicker picking his spot there to capitalize on the possibility of a blitz. And sometimes, you know, you put it out there into the universe and the universe looks upon you and says, yeah, all right, mate. Nuffle pissing in CARMAC's hat right now. I'm not sure what that expression is. It just came from my brain. So yeah, I would expect to see some spill through here. Do you pick up with Illidar, or do you use Illidar to blitz something to make things a bit more secure? I think you probably pick up on Verf and Don. Emador has now leveled up. And the other players are slightly too far away. I mean, the catcher hit can certainly get to it. Yeah, it is why you always set up versus a blitz. I suppose under these circumstances, CARMAC was like, I kind of just got to go for it here. But yeah, Nuffle does punish people who don't set up for a blitz by giving the opponent blitzes. This has been part of the course for the Challengers Cup so far. As I mentioned before, I don't know if any of you were actually here, but it has been very swingy in terms of like the random stuff happening. Lots and lots of very one-sided contests that I've seen and that I've cast. But yeah, this is a pretty horrible situation for CARMAC. Not completely unrecoverable, but not boding very well. You can never really count Wood Elves out. Not sure I like the 4 square. It makes pushing a bit easier. Here comes the blitz. We're able to blitz the wrestler. I was expecting that. It is POW. No armor break. Yeah, it's, I think it is a box here. But it's certainly plausible that you can get in on this. That said, this is a sidestepper, so that does make it much more difficult. But again, this is kind of too many players too tight. And imagine if there was a wizard in play here. That is the biggest fireball bait I think I've ever seen. Fails a catch. And manages to scatter it to one of the very few squares where there isn't an elf. So it is the floor's ball right now. How would I play this? I might just put my head in my hands and weep. Yeah, good night. Thank you very much for dropping in, Andy. Much appreciated. I'm sure I'll see you around at some point. Have a good one. That is just a push, but the tree didn't root. That's the first time that the tree has done something, and we are multiple blocking because he's strength 7. That is the first removal for the Wood Elves. Could we be seeing the tables turning? Probably not, but it's nice to think that it's possible. All right. I'm going to nervously vape in sympathy for my fellow tree hugger. Alright, we're going to run around the back. This is plausible here. You could see a blitz here, and then you could see a sneak around and grab the ball, and then perhaps... Let's see how many squares that would be. If he's out of the way, then 1, 2, 3, 4... Nope. We are just going to send the dancer all the way up to the sideline. Here he comes. So we are going to try something here, I think. No? Perhaps not? I'm a little surprised. Ah, we're going to leap. We are going to leap. And the leap is good. The pickup not so good, but it is a 4+ with a reroll. And he gets it on the second time of asking. This is just a step away now. Problem is, he's on a heck of a lot of tackle. No, pulls it off. And it's a pass. And the pass is not good. Oh, it's fine. It landed on the catcher. It's fine. It's fine. Wasn't perfect, but it did the job. Popping the catcher just there did in fact help. That catcher is eminently destroyable at this point, but it is going to be a little tough for the elves to get there. They are going to have to take some dodges. So, we have seen strange things happen. Snakes are things that occur in abundance. Especially when you absolutely cannot afford to roll a 1, is generally when you do roll a 1. Or it is, at least in my experience. Although actually, in my experience, it's just anytime I roll dice, I'm probably going to roll a 1. But yeah, concentrating all of his players into this really tiny area here seems to have backfired a little bit here. I'm going to take some hits on some elves here. That hit didn't really appreciably change the situation for him. So, I suppose you could argue that what he could do then is bring someone round, especially after the hit here, so that he can make a 2-die blitz through play to get tackle on the ball, and then bring the other lineman up to support. And with this player down, he can then spill through some more players to put tackle zones on the ball. That said, the dancer is just here, and he could very well hand off to him, or use the dancer to force away at least some of those tackle zones. That's an injury to Solus Bernhard, who was knocked out previously, and has come back just to get badly hurt. So there's 2 elves permanently off the pitch. We have seen the Apo burned for the Wood Elves. But... Oh no, we haven't. I'm lying. He just accepted it. It was just it. Decided to glitch out slightly visually with the notifications of it. Oh, just a push. That's really, really good for the Wood Elves here. So we can now get through and onto the ball, but it's a little trickier. So what, 1, 2, 3, 4... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, so 1 GFI to get a strip ball tackle hit on it with that catcher. And he can get a player up in support. Does have the reroll in his back pocket for it as well. And in fact, he doesn't need to get support in, given that catchers are only strength 2. And this catcher is not. He is strength 3. Deceptively named catcher. Oh, he got him. But it was a wrestle hit. So he is going to have to recover that now. And that's going to involve GFIs. I think you're going to try and recover him with the catcher. It's a single GFI. So you do need to move Thor and Shaladef out of the way. Carmac streams are still alive here. And my voice is starting to go, apparently. Okay, so here comes the pickup attempt. I think rolling that 1 on the catch there, pretty significant so far. Given Carmac it's a whisper of a dream. So the options here, I think, are assuming that the catcher fails somehow. Oh no, we are going to dodge through. And here comes the pickup attempt, which succeeds. Here comes the pass. The pass is good. To the strength up boy. There is a wrestler sitting at the back here though. So he might opt for the red die back attempt with wrestle. Can of course leap, which could well be the play. Leap to get the 1 die strip ball hit. It looks like that's what we're going for. No, we're just going to run around the outside. And it's good. That is a stripped ball. Not the greatest of scatters, but totally doable. He does have the agi up catcher. He could, in fact, go catcher to catcher here. We're going to bring the tree in. So here we go. This is the Hail Mary full of grace moment. Do we try and roll it around to maximise the amount of squares that we can get forward? No, we are going to go out and then in. Can leap it, which he does successfully. Picks the ball up. So now it's just a pass. I say it's just a pass. It's a pretty long pass to get it there. But he is an agi up player. Pausing a second just to offer fervent prayers to Nuffle as he takes GFIs. Here we go. Is the pass going to be good? There is a reroll for this. It is! The pass is good. There we go. 1-1. Game on. Let's see if the KOs come back. 11 versus 7 at the moment. Or, no, actually, I think it's less than that because there is a KO player who has come back. And one of the elves come back. I think that was the block guarder, not the one-turner, unfortunately. Correct, although the one-turner is strictly less useful than the block guarder under these circumstances, I think. So we are playing 11 versus 8. Yes, 8. I can count. I can count. I did go to school, honest. It's a high kick. It's a very shallow high kick. Trying to play the same odds, I think. And he failed to catch it again. That's twice now that the Pro Elves have failed to catch the ball. Going to an immediate knockdown. No armor break though. Okay, another knockdown over here. This one does break up. That is a KO, so Alvin Rife has been KO'd, which does return the deficit to 11-7. Now, the nervy bit here is potentially not picking this up, in which case things get very interesting very fast. It does have a reroll for it though, so it would take something rather exceptional for that to happen. But we have seen it happen. It is a thing that does happen. Here comes the blitz. That is a stun. So gets up from the KO box, gets back on the field, and then immediately gets punched down and has his bell rung once more. Let us imbibe another refreshing beverage. Oh, we are going to fail to pick it up. Let's see if it's a snake. It is not. It is a 6 this time. The beads of sweat trickle down Clanthulu's brow as he breathes a sigh of relief. Yeah, we're going to run him back to safety so that he can pick his spot. And of course, ideally, he would stall this out. One turner wouldn't come back. And that would be all she wrote. Okay, let's see what Karma can do in response. Tree takes root yet again. Third time this game. Why do people take trees? He says when he took a tree. This is one of those games where it makes you regret that decision. Oh, the hit is good. It is an injury to Elias Tough Deer. Not the greatest player in the world, but that is a body down. That does bring the disparity back somewhat. Bouncy, bouncy. It's about all the Wood Elves can do this turn. Catcher, of course, has leveled from this. And Manly Shelly is but 10 SPP away from reaching legend status. Which is a Wood Elf is no mean feat. Wood Elves tend not to have mean feet in general. I say that war dancers do kick people as their block animation, don't they? So that's kind of a lie. Alright, we're going to run round. He is about to feel the full weight of the Pro Elf team crashing down upon him like waves upon a shore, though. The tree proving itself absolutely useless this game, despite being the Uber tree. It did knock a player out, I suppose, in the last half, so not totally useless. But those continuous take root rolls, really taking their toll. He is just a strength 7 post now. One that the Pro Elves can literally run rings around if they want to. Okay, just push over here. Clanthulu's block dice deserting him somewhat. That does roll up the field somewhat. And with guard in play, he does have a hit here. Gonna run back even further. Really not playing aggressively as yet. I would expect him to come forward in a couple of turns' time. I will be back in just a second, so hang on. I tell you what, we'll wait till all the interesting stuff is finished happening, and then I will disappear for 10 seconds. I need to go and press a button on my washing machine. I hope you're all surviving in a world without Facebook, Instagram, and WhatsApp, given that they have gone down. Mark Zuckerberg apparently sat on the server. Sidestep. Steps back. That's it. I'm wondering if there's going to be a foul here, because otherwise, guard is now on 4 players. Admittedly, one of them is a strength upper, so he's not really going to care. Yeah, he needed the service to recharge. Yeah, he had to go and get into his alcove like a Borg. He's a weird alien head and complete lack of ethics. Yeah, there is now guard tagging up 4 players here, so this is not great positioning by the Prelves. That said, ball is incredibly safe. He has a move upper as well, moving back in support. He's actually going to change his mind a bit there. Yeah, guard immediately gets up. Not surprised by that at all. That gives the Dancer a nice hit on the guard piece here, which is a POW. No armor break on that though. There's also a nice hit here on Ilidar Itinerant, which is a POW on the Blitzer. That could be big. It would be quite welcome to remove said Blitzer. However, that is not happening. Armor does not break. As we are now in consolidation mode, I am going to just go and press that button on my washing machine. I will be back in just a second. Or not, as things are happening just as I'm leaving the room. That is an injury, and that has shunted a player onto the tree. So really quite a good turn here. You can't really see him behind here, but here it comes. It is going to be dodged, however. It does have grab, so can keep him locked to the tree if he so desires, and free up Manly Shelley to go and cause shenanigans. Wonder if we will see Manly Shelley run around. We will. Alright, very nice. I can't really go anywhere now, can I? Oh, has to rely on the shore feet there. Now the problem for the Pro Elves is he's 2 GFIs away from the nearest player with tackle. So it would be power fishing at this point. It would be a 2-die. So I think what we're likely to see is him run around the side and then pass to the move up catcher. But if he does that, the catcher has to run onto the left-hand side of the field, really, because otherwise he's in War Dancer range. I'm going to take the hits up here first. That's brave. It hasn't bit him in the bum just yet. I'm not sure I like that as a point of turn ordering. A little bit too aggressive for my tastes. Alright, we're going to take the Blitz. Blitz is good. Gets the armor breaking needed there, really, because that would have put a player in position to run through the lines with a couple of ingenious bits of dodging. And can make the ball relatively safe with the pass here and then the run into the back. That said, Manly Shelley is within range to try the red die sack if needs be. And it might not even be that, depending on what happens over here. No, it's going to send some players down to interfere. So missed that one. What happened there? Just a push? Yes. Sorry, I was concentrating on the other bit of the pitch there. Because I'm expecting this thrower to move at some point in the immediate future. There we go, he's going to make the pass. Had to rely on pass there, because there was a 1 in there. I do believe. Oh no, there wasn't. Why did I see a 1 pop up then? I guess it's not showing it. Yeah. So, there we go. That was good. So he's going to run him over to this side, I think. Safest place for him at the moment. That said, there is a leap on. So we may have to dodge some players out to get there, and if that goes wrong, then problems. Runs them all the way around the side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so we can one-die wrestle them at the moment. We have to dodge someone out to cover. Oh, that was close. That could have gone very horribly wrong for him. So yeah, I think we're likely to see a leap here. Boy, still not being particularly useful. Guard will get back up. I think we'll probably see a tag up here. Yep. And then we're going to see a leap in. That's the one. And it's good. That is a stripped ball. You're probably pushing him through here. Yep. And you're hoping Scatter goes somewhere that Plucky Dagny can grab it. Scatter's not great, but it's not terrible either. That is recoverable, because Plucky Dagny can run round and grab it. The issue then is how you get it down to Manly Shelley, which is presumably what you're going to try and do here. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we are just going to bring Shelley up and pick it up from there. So maybe we're going to throw it out to Plucky Dagny? I'm not sure. Yeah, looks like it. It's intercepted. It's always risky throwing an interception near a player with catch. Probably the player he wanted to intercept it there as well. Gets the hit in. Could just blitz off here. All he needs is a push in and then he's off to the races. I think there's also an argument to be made to take the hit over here, run him up to the touchline, to use him as a screen. Pytho Ventress the catcher. Could screen off with Mortilith Malamir as well. Yeah, we are going to blitz off. That will be dodged, but that doesn't stop him from getting away scot-free. He's going to take the GFI to try and score. I don't think he will. I think he'll try and stall this out. So yeah, far corner. So yeah, hit here perhaps. No, we're going to hit up top. So maybe we're going to hit down with Illidar Tinnerant. The issue here is this is a sidestepper. And that was a bouncy, so that didn't really help. Goes for the Dancer instead. Tackle does its thing. The Dancer is still alive though, and could blitz next turn. It would be one GFI to get there, and it's against a strength up player, but it is eminently doable. Probably not going to happen now though. It also involves dodging through some fairly unpleasant tackle zones with tackle. And that's it. Plucky Dagny, unmolested on this side here, can run up and provide some assistance. You'd have to make some pretty unpleasant dodges into tackle zones to get the hit here. Dodge and sidestep. I think you're probably sidestepping him here, yeah. The Wood Elves seeming very thin on the ground at the moment. That prevents Dagny from easily assisting. We are going to leap. You do love to see it. Which does, however, mean that he's going to have the GFI to get the assist in, but not too difficult to do. With sure feet. Not going for an assist there. Here he comes. Leap is good. We are just going to stick tackle on it. Does get the knockdown. But this is potentially just a blitz off. That's probably the game-winning blitz off, if we're honest. We shall see. Strange things happen with dice. With great frequency. Can get an elf up in support, but it's not really going to make a material difference. This is going to be a 2-die regardless, because of the strength up. That was me trying to sneak off, and it just it wasn't going to happen, was it? CARMAC here, trying to force the issue, forcing CARMAC to score or risk getting hit with the strip ball next turn, which is probably the sensible thing to do under the circumstances, and then hope that your one-turner comes back and you can take it to 2-2 in time for extra time. As you can tell from this being the third iteration of his Sabertooth teams, and him having players on the threshold of legend status, he's been around the block a bit as old CARMAC, so he certainly knows what he's doing. Alright. Yeah, we are going to provide an assist up there. Interesting. We're just going to mob it up with loads of bodies and perhaps try and stall it out that way. Takes the GFI. It was going to be red die anyway, so this doesn't really make that big of a difference. It's gone from a red die to a red die. I suppose he could dodge out Verfund on Mathalar, but he's definitely not scoring this turn. Unless he wants to do some wacky step out, dodge out pass. Which is totally plausible. I just wouldn't have done it this way if that was my intention, so I think this is definitely him stalling. Otherwise he's made it very needlessly complex. Does have a hit here, but it is no block against block, so it's not a particularly appealing hit really, because it could go wrong. So if he does take it, it'll probably be the last thing he does. I think he's debating whether he's going to dodge out Verfundon, or whether he's just going to dodge out Canonium and score with him. Probably doesn't want to score though. Yeah, takes the hit, gets the hit. Gets stunned with his troubles as well. Runs around to tag up the catcher and then steps out. Is he just going to run off to the side now? He's actually going to run all the way back in. Retreating in the face of potential sackage, which is not the worst idea in the world. However, there is a red die wrestle here on him there, or at least there was. And still is actually, because wrestle is a good skill. So I will return in just a second. I absolutely have to go and take care of the washing machine, otherwise it'll be on all night. Apologies for that. I am returned. I have pressed the button, and we're going to fail the leap. Yeah, immediate reroll on that one. Fails it a second time though. That is the perils of doing the complicated things, but it was a valiant effort. He does have two bodies on the ball now, which is not the worst of situations to be in. The problem is that they're not very difficult to clear off. And assuming that they are cleared off, having not stood up Eldor or Nimheim, which I probably would have done, slightly poor turn ordering on Carmac's part there. It was a snake as well. Having not stood these players up, it seems unlikely that he's going to be able to stop the Pro Elves from scoring now, which will seal the deal. There is a dodge here. Because pushes. I think we're probably going to see a dodge off. Because if the dodge succeeds, that's a GG's. He could just punch him, I suppose. Do you want to risk the wrestle happening? Tackle doing its thing. No armor break though. ball is not safe until it's completely out of elf range. At the moment, you can't really get out of elf range. You could give it to the move up guy actually, and then the move up guy can move to a point where he can't be caught. So if he moves one down, hands off, gives it to the move up guy moves to here, then that would be essentially GG's. Needs to, really, because he's the only person who can score, I think. There's an 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8 is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so you can score with GFIs, but yeah, you probably want to be scoring on Thantol Das Lasraline. Oh, he's going to move him up. Okay. Oh, no, wait, I'm looking at the wrong touch line, aren't I? Yeah, they are going the other way. Sorry, missed. I'd completely forgotten where we were at then. My brain had just switched off for a second. I was probably completely overwhelmed with thoughts of laundry. So yeah, this is an eminently easy score for him. It does mean that he's not going to be home and scot-free, because there is a possibility of dodging out and taking this ball down. He can defend it somewhat with the thrower. The other lineman is kind of too far away to do anything about it, really. So it's going to take some crazy dodges, but I think if CARMAC can force this to extra time, he's going to be a happy chappy. Fouls the war dancer, that makes perfect sense. That'll do it. That'll definitely do it. So realistically speaking, CARMAC needs to get this ball off of him this turn. I don't really know. Oh, he's failed the GFI. This makes it a lot more difficult. No rerolls in an overtime format game as well, but had to use it. Dodges out. Now he's got to pray for the magnet hands, really. He's going to have to do some spicy dodging here as well to get the hit in. Here he goes. And he got him. Wrestle does its thing. It's not a great scatter for him, though, and he has no means of stopping Clownthilly from just running up, picking that up, and running it into the end zone. That said, he does actually have a player who can get that. We're going to leap. There we go. That makes life a bit more difficult. Could be seeing overtime here. Yeah, Mist, you pointed it out just as I realised that I was talking absolute bollocks and I'd forgotten what direction play was going in. I was like, wait a second. It's late. I've had a couple of beers. I'm blaming that. Alright, so I think we're going to see a tackle hit on Manly Shelley here, which is going to be a 2-die with tackle, so it's likely to do the job. The only issue is that if he does that, then the ball could scatter to a position where Plucky Dagny makes it less likely to get grabbed. Now we're just going to take a hit over here first. I'm not sure that was necessary, but we will see. Does free up the diving tackler Hawk. Yeah, so do you try and scatter the ball here by hitting the sidestepper into it? The problem is if it pushes, then it becomes even more difficult to get the ball in all likelihood. Because you really aren't going to have any control over where it goes. You're going all the way around. Oh, he didn't get him. He didn't get him. He got the wrestle in though, so that takes the tackle zone away. So that does make it slightly easier. So I think we're going to see the Nerves of Steel boy here run in and grab it. This is for all the marbles. And he's got it. That is GG's. It was a valiant effort by Carmack, considering. But that is all she wrote. That's another Pro Elf team going through to the next round. I think that's the third one I've seen. So, yeah, excellent game. Manly Shelley picks up the MVP and is now 5 away from that magical 176 SPP. But yeah, you can see 93% ball possession for the Stirland Hornets. I mean, admittedly, Wood Elves don't really need very much possession because possession is a bash team stat. But yeah, pretty big disparity in terms of the luck there to a degree. Hornets didn't get the greatest of dice, but I think a lot of those were probably armor rolls, so can't really tell very much from there. In terms of block dice, yeah, not really much in it. It was tighter than it seemed to be going in the first half. But congratulations to the Stirland Hornets and Clown Thulu, and commiserations to Carmack and Sabertooth Badge 3.0. I'm sure they'll be back though. They are hale and healthy, ready for next season. So, yeah. I will thank you all for joining me. I will certainly double thank Neutral AI for the raid. If you have liked what you've seen and would like to see me casting more Blood Bowl games and occasionally playing them and losing horribly because I'm terrible and I have really atrocious luck, then by all means drop me a follow. I'm going to call it there because it is 12:15 at night and I am a tired boy. And I will thank you, and I will love you and leave you. Good night.